We've spent a lot of time on this program, as others have as well, talking about the FM diversion, the Fargo-Moorhead diversion. Now, last Friday is the day that the city of Fargo and Cass County and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, that they could testify before the Senate Appropriations Committee. Remember that? They got up there and said, okay, look, here's why the amendments have to go. Here is why. Because we have to go to Washington and let the federal government know that we're all on board with this, that we are going to move forward with this project, that the state's behind us, that the local entities are behind us, that we have this whole thing going on. The other side, people who do want to kill the diversion, they don't want this diversion built because they feel it would negatively affect them. They testified on behalf of Al Carlson. The Fargo folks and the Cass County folks, in my opinion, went up there and used facts and engineering and factual numbers and said, look, here is why we need to do this. Here's why we need this project. Here's why we have to do this. The upstream folks, the coalition folks, they got up there and, as I said, they used emotion. And they said, my grandson wants to farm and he can't farm this land if this project goes through. We're going to be underwater. We're going to, and all the things I just pointed out. But how can I make a couple of points just to show why this diversion is important and why some of the stuff that the upstream people are saying isn't accurate? And so I picked out a couple different things. I picked out, first of all, the idea that when it comes to this diversion, that upstream retention would be enough. That if you just hold back some water on the Wild Rice River, build up a dam, write a check to a landowner, boom, that's going to solve Fargo's problems. And then everybody can live in harmony and we can all be friendly and neighborly and Fargo's going to be protected for years and years and years. You would have to store, according to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, you would have to store 400,000 acre-feet of water for a 1.5-foot reduction in the Red River at Fargo during a 100-year event. Now, a 100-year event would be what? 42.4 feet at the Fargo gauge. So that's not even, that would be bad, but that's not even the 500-year number we're talking about. That's, 46 feet, which would devastate many things in the region. But to take off 1.5 feet off the river, you would have to store 400,000 acre-feet of water. Now, here's the deal. The equivalent of 200,000 acre-feet is 40,000 acres with 5 feet of water on it. So if my math is right now, and I'm not the best person at math, I'll admit that. But if my math is right, to hold back 400,000 acre-feet of water to take 1.5 feet off the river during a 42.5-foot flood, which still only gets us down to 40 feet, which is an ungodly high number, by the way, and still has you in the whole area of, boy, if we get a 3-inch rain, we're screwed here. You would have to hold back 80,000 acres of water at 5 feet deep. Is that right? Is my math right there, folks? Do I have that number right? That to take 1.5 feet off the Red River in Fargo at a 42.4-foot flood, you would have to hold back 80,000 acres of water with 5 feet on it. You can't do it. You cannot do that. And even if you could, think of the impacts that would have on landowners who would be flooded out by that. Now, the second thing is the farmers south of Fargo are saying, well, we can't farm that land. We'll never be able to farm the land. We can't farm it. There's going to be water on it. It's going to be Fargo holding back water for a reservoir so that they don't flood. That's not true either. Let's do some more math here. Let's do some more math, okay? Let's say that you have 1,000 acres of land, okay? I just did some easy math, round numbers, 1,000 acres of land. Well, what's the land value south of Fargo? Is it, could it be as much as $8,000 an acre? Well, no, because up by Grafton, it was going for what, $10,000 an acre? Something like that. So this is Red River Valley farmland. If I'm way off, let me know. Let's say it's $8,000 an acre, okay? Let's say it's going for $8,000 an acre. Now, the farmers closest to the diversion could get a one-time easement payment, let's say of 50%. Okay, that's $4,000 an acre, right? Doesn't that come out to $4 million? And you get to keep farming the land. And you get to own the land. And you get helped out with the insurance on the land. And oh, by the way, you'd only be flooded in times of incredibly high water, of 30 feet and above, 35 feet and above, 40 foot and above. Then water would be held back on the land. Other than that, if it's a dry year like last year, you're not going to have an inch of water in your land. Not an inch. Nothing.
It's flooding down in my town.